Welcome to another episode on our channel. So we're continuing on with our steampunk collection. And the first set of characters, there were two of them. One was Penelope Cruz and one was William Pitt. This one is Brad Pitt. And I used William and Brad because his real name is William Bradley Pitt. I wanted twins in this set. I had purchased way back when, and I tended to do this a lot way back when things were actually reasonably priced. If I found a good deal, I would buy several items. And I was able to get a few of the Brad Pitt heads for a really great deal. Was able to get goggles, a bunch of them for really great deals. Sometimes you can still find lots of things where you can get a good deal, although that is getting harder and harder to do these days. And it's the shipping and handling that sometimes can really kill you. But the taxes on the secondary market can kill you even more. The combo is deadly, though. I have to say that. But this is a German officer suit, and I had to take the shoulder boards out, and that was a mess because they were really in there very, very good. By the time I got them out there were strings hanging out, rips, along the seams of the top of the shoulders. And I ended up, and it worked wonderfully, using super glue to put them back together. It just worked fine. Better than me trying to sew them. I think it would have turned out worse. But anyway, he's got white shirt, tie, and the vest is from Battle Gear Toys. They have some Civil War things, and this was a Civil War vest. Happened to be paisley of all things, and I thought it would look good on this suit, and it ended up looking really good. He has boots on, and I've got some upper boot pieces. These are shoes, actually. Upper boot pieces that I put some leather on the top and the bottom to go above the shoe. So it looks like a boot. That worked out fine. There's actually a sheath and a knife here. He has a gun with the little holster. He does have a matte case, Japanese one, that's covered by a fastener, covered the symbol of the Japanese symbol here. So it does have a leather look to it, so it just, I don't know, it seems more nostalgic to me to have that on him. So he's similar to his brother in that respect. What's different, of course, he has a suit. His brother only had a vest on. He's got the full suit and a vest. Different colors in his clothing compared to the other brother. And he's got a little fuzz on him, actually. Let me get that off. He's got glove or fingerless gloves on, and the twin just had hands, so that's different. He's got the cowboy hat. The twin had a top hat, so I switched it up here and put the top hat on the female and the cowboy looking hat on the guy. Goggles, though, same goggles in this situation. And I think that pretty much describes him. Yeah. I guess the big difference from the other characters, oh, yeah, this is unique too. The belt, I put a watch in the middle of the belt. Just avant-garde, something different. I thought that was cool. Now, this is Gadot. And she has a black dress on. Out of a necklace, I made a necklace, obviously. I used a different necklace piece to kind of cut and used a leather bangle to make the belt out of, and had these metal pieces hanging off to the side. I thought that gave it kind of a cool look. She actually has a Batman grappling gun on her, but it looks, I don't know, it looks avant-garde again. It looks appropriate to a steampunk unusual look. And the top hat is perfect because otherwise she's got that thing around her head. So the hat actually goes over her head if I'm not careful, so I have to put it on just right. Here we go. She looks great with the hat. So this is an unbranded hat, as is this one, but they're very good looking unbranded hats. So the dress I got off of the secondary market. At one time, I got a couple dresses, and they're still on the secondary market. If you like this dress, you can easily find, just look up black dress, or if you're curious, drop me an email. I'll try to find the person I bought it from, and I'm sure you can get this dress at a reasonable price. She's got high heel shoes on, and she actually has leggings on. So, yeah. So I think they make a good couple here. So what we'll do is we'll pause now and get some close-ups from the feet or the bottom of the stand all the way up to the top of the head. We'll be right back. So here they are in terms of the lower part of the figure. You can see, if I turn it a little bit to the side, you can see the sheath and the knife here. And the leather pieces, this is separate. This whole piece here is separate from the shoe itself. She has high heel shoes on and gaiters. And then as we go up, you can see his blue pants, her black dress. I really do think they capture that Victorian style very nicely. Now, he has a gun and a holster. And what I think is cool about him that's unique is the watch right here on the leather piece that I put around as his belt. His jacket has a linked chain to close it with the paisley vest. She has the metal pieces here on her dress. I think that gives her a nice look. And then the long sleeves on her, I think, is a nice touch as well. Of course, he's got the leather mat case on his left side. She has the grappling gun on her right side. And the goggles. Now this is a little not centered. And we'll get it better. All right, here we go. They both have the same type of goggles, though, although they have different hats. But I think they came out well. So we'll pause now and do some side-to-side shots. What I really like about her, not just the head sculpt, even though these both are unbranded, they're very well done. She's got a real defined jaw and so forth. It's just a nice head sculpt. But I like the sleeves on this dress. These are actually separate sleeves. They come off. They came with a different dress, and the dress itself is short sleeve, but vast difference when you have long sleeves that kind of come down over the hand. So that part is very nice, and I do like the fact that she has a silver and white or ivory handle, silver part of the gun that matches the necklace pieces here that I put with the bangle that had this piece in the center. Just really sharp, and then it's all tied together with the silver up here. He's also in silver to a certain extent with the buttons, the chain for the jacket, and up here with the goggles. The gloved or fingerless gloved hands are a nice touch, which is different. He's got a gun, a holster. He's got the mat case. So there are some similarities with some of the other figures, but still subtle differences. That watch on his belt, I just threw on there because that seemed to me to be something you wouldn't expect to see. A little avant-garde, and I thought that would be nice. So we'll just go side to side to see him a little bit. Here. Not much of a pivot, just a little. And then we'll get some close-ups of their faces. But although they're both unbranded, they're very nice. We'll be right back. Again, although both these heads are unbranded, they're very nicely done. On the female, especially on Gal, you can see her jaw, some shading in the face, and sometimes that's missing on female head sculpts especially. I'll just do very slight pivots here. You can get away with much more shading on male head sculpts than you can with female head sculpts. This one is very nicely done. And there you go. So I want to add a little more to the steampunk definition, but just to remind you, it was a term that was coined by K.W. Jeter in 1987. He was a sci-fi and horror author, but it was a genre that was shared by not just him, but H.G. Wells and Jules Verne and Mary Shelley. They're talking about a time period, an alternate kind of genre for the 1800s, 19th century, 1800s, that mixed that style of living with technology, innovations, and that was usually attached to steam-driven engines or technology. So it's very much industrial Victorian kind of a genre. Gears were used a lot in steampunk, and that's probably something that's missing that I could add to a figure or two, a gear here or there, maybe on a boot, or is an emblem on a shirt or something like that. There is something called silk punk. So it's basically steampunk, but in a different culture, and that would be the Asian culture, Japan, China. So they would be wearing what was appropriate to their time frame in the 1800s, but again, a mixture with technology. Goggles would be part of that package as well. And what else can I tell you? Steampunk did come after cyberpunk. So steampunk was coined in 1987, again by K.W. Jeter, and cyberpunk was in the early 80s, 1980s. So late 80s versus early 80s. One that looked back in time to the Victorian era, and one that looks forward in time to futuristic, a futuristic time period, but still has a mix of technology. Anyway, so I think that's all I can add right now. I'll do a little more work with the last two figures that we will show. So in our last episode, you saw our first two steampunk 1/6 scale customs kitbashed figures. Here's our second set of steampunk figures, and you'll see our last two figures in the set in the next episode. So I hope you've liked what you've seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day.